Sishuwa Sishuwa warns. More market fires coming in opposition areas under UPND? Good day, viewers, and welcome to InspirAfrica Official. A shocking warning has just shaken Zambia's political space. Dr. Sishuwa Sishuwa, one of the country's most outspoken political analysts, has issued a grim prediction that more market fires could erupt across opposition strongholds under the current UPND government. He says these blazes, often dismissed as coincidences, could carry deep political meaning, symbols of intimidation, control, or fear. But is there evidence behind this warning? Or is Sishuwa's statement a political grenade dropped at the height of national tension? Stay tuned, because tonight, we unpack the truth behind these warnings, the reactions from both sides, and what this could mean ahead of the 2026 elections. You know, as we approach another week here in Zambia, there are moments when the patterns of our political landscape become uncomfortably familiar. Today, we're diving into something that has sent ripples across social media, sparked fierce debates, and reignited memories that many Zambians had hoped to forget. Our lead story, a chilling warning from one of Zambia's most prominent political analysts, Dr. Sishuwa Sishuwa, who has declared that more market fires are coming, specifically targeting opposition strongholds under the current UPND administration. But here's where this story becomes a journey into something darker. What if the flames that consume a market stall aren't accidents at all? What if they're calculated moves in a political chess game where ordinary traders are the pawns? When a fire sweeps through Kapalala Market in Ndola for the third time in a year, destroying livelihoods worth millions of kwacha, do we simply accept it as misfortune? Or do we ask the harder questions? Why do these fires keep happening in areas that voted against the ruling party? Why does the pattern feel so disturbingly familiar to those who remember the gassing incidents of 2020, that terrifying period when unknown assailants sprayed chemical substances in people's homes across Zambia, spreading fear like wildfire? And when government officials arrive with relief supplies and condolences after each inferno, are they genuinely helping victims? Or are they, as Dr. Sishuwa suggests, returning to the scene of a crime they orchestrated? What happens when the very institutions meant to protect citizens become instruments of their suffering? When markets that represent the heartbeat of community commerce turn to ash, and the answers remain conveniently elusive? And perhaps most troubling of all, if these fires are indeed politically motivated, how many more markets must burn before the 2026 elections? And how many Zambian families will be left with nothing but ashes and empty promises? These are not comfortable questions, viewers, but they are necessary ones. Because somewhere between the smoke and the political rhetoric lies a truth that Zambians deserve to know. The revelation came to light through a social media post that quickly went viral. Dr. Sishuwa Sishuwa, a respected historian and political commentator known for his unflinching critique of power, published a statement warning Zambians to watch out for more UPND-induced market fires in opposition strongholds. To understand the gravity of this accusation, we need to look at the timeline. On the night of September 6, 2025, Kapalala Market in Ndola, Zambia's largest trading center in the Copperbelt province, was engulfed in flames. The fire started around 2100 hours near the Carroll section, sweeping through grain depots and stalls. One person died in the inferno. Bags of beans, rice, maize, cassava, groundnuts, and other merchandise worth thousands of kwacha turned to ashes.
Over 1,200 traders lost everything.
This wasn't the first time. It was, in fact, the third major fire at Kapalala Market within a year. Previous incidents occurred in 2017 and 2022, each time devastating the market and leaving traders scrambling to rebuild their lives. But Kapalala is not alone. In October 2022, Chiwempala Market in Chingola district suffered a similar fate. Around 3 o'clock hours on a Monday morning, fire swept through 9 wooden makeshift shops and 2 storage containers. Everything burned to ashes before firefighters from Konkola copper mine could arrive. What caught Dr. Sishuwa's attention, and what forms the basis of his explosive allegation, is the pattern. These markets are located in areas traditionally considered opposition strongholds, constituencies that have historically voted for the Patriotic Front rather than the ruling United Party for National Development. And there's another layer to this story, one that takes us back to 2020, during the final year of PF rule, when Zambia experienced what came to be known as the gassing crisis. From late 2019 through early 2020, mysterious individuals began spraying unknown chemical substances in people's homes across all 10 provinces of Zambia. Citizens reported fainting, difficulty breathing, and overwhelming fear. Schools were attacked. The MTN head office was gassed. Chaos erupted. Soldiers deployed to the streets. Mob justice claimed more lives than the gassing itself, with suspects being burned alive by angry crowds. At the time, then opposition leader Hakainde Hichilema, now president, accused the PF government of orchestrating the gassing to create chaos and justified declaring a state of emergency to arrest political opponents. The PF, through Home Affairs Minister Stephen Campiongo, blamed opposition elements and promised arrests. Dozens were detained, but to this day, no one has been convicted, and the masterminds remain unidentified. Dr. Sishuwa now draws a direct parallel. In his statement he writes, "Remember the gassing attacks that rocked Zambia's main urban centers in 2020? This is their playbook. Induce the fire, claim ignorance about its cause, turn up on the scene and perform care, and hope that the victims, now poorer than before, will vote for the caring government led by our dear leader." Let me read to you directly from Dr. Sishuwa Sishuwa's statement, posted just hours after the most recent Chiwempela market fire. His words are stark, unambiguous, and deliberately provocative. Some of us know a lot about what Hakainde Hichilema is doing to try and retain power. We know the help that the president sent to Madam Dictator before he traveled for the bloody coronation and what he expects in return. I know the contents of the meeting that Hichilema held last Friday until about 2 a.m. and with whom. He continues, "Some of us have already seen the asset declarations that Hichilema and Edgar Lungu made to the Electoral Commission of Zambia in May 2021 during their nominations for presidency. At the right time, I will publish them. Zambians would then hopefully understand the extent of the president's involvement in Zambia's economy, whether his policies are deliberately designed to benefit companies in which he has an interest, and why the president has repeatedly refused to publish the value of his assets despite being elected on a platform of accountability and transparency." But the most damning accusation comes in his analysis of the market fires. This one also saw goods worth millions of kwacha destroyed. Like the one in Ndola, the cause of the Chiwempela inferno is yet to be established and will likely not be conclusively established. I do know, however, that senior UPND government officials, like murderers returning to the scene of the crime, are already lining up to go and pledge assistance to the affected victims as a show of care. This is their playbook: induce the fire, claim ignorance about its cause, turn up on the scene and perform care, and hope that the victims, now poorer than before, will vote for the caring government led by our dear leader. It is evil what these people are doing. Strong words. Serious allegations. But Dr. Sishuwa doesn't stop there. He makes an even bolder claim. Remember the gassing attacks that rocked Zambia's main urban centers in 2020? That is the spate of highly suspicious incidents involving unknown people spraying gas on unsuspecting victims? He then asks a series of rhetorical questions that echo the concerns of many Zambians. Who really was behind those fires that rocked Zambia in 2020 and 2021? People were arrested and released and have been heftily compensated. But the question remains, who really was behind those fires? The response to Dr. Sishuwa's statement has been explosive. One commenter wrote, "Mr. Hakainde Hichilema talked about gassing when in opposition. Why allow the case to become cold as it is, with all the power he has? Something is very strange on the gassing case. It doesn't add up." And those fires which rocked Zambia in 2020/2021. Who really was behind those fires? Another stated, "The fires are back again. Can the Zambia Police Service please investigate the causes of these fires?" Thank you, Dr. Sishuwa Sishuwa, for again provoking our minds. We will pay attention to these fires and see the people rushing to give donations. And here's what makes this particularly interesting. The official response from Copperbelt Provincial Minister Elisha Matambo after visiting Kapalala Market. Let me quote him directly. "As government, we express our sadness and convey a message to the people affected on behalf of President Hakainde Hichilema. We also send condolences to the bereaved family of the one person who died in the inferno." Minister Matambo added, Investigations are underway to ascertain the cause of the fire, warning that those responsible for the incident will face severe consequences.
Sound familiar?
It's exactly the pattern Dr. Sishuwa describes. Express sympathy, promise investigations, assure government support, but never quite get to the bottom of who started the fire or why. When we look back at the 2020 gassing crisis, the parallels become even more striking. Then Home Affairs Minister Stephen Kampiango held press conferences announcing arrests of masterminds. He told journalists, "The layers of these suspects are now unfolding properly because this suspect who has been arrested on the Copperbelt today is one of those that are coordinating these activities. As you know, these people have been operating in groups and they have got various coordinators. And sooner than later, we shall start zeroing in on the motives of those that are behind these activities." That was February 27, 2020. Nearly 5 years later, no one has been convicted. The cases went cold.
The masterminds, if they existed, disappeared into the shadows.
So what are we really looking at here? Is Dr. Sishuwa Sishuwa a conspiracy theorist spinning wild accusations? Or is he a whistleblower trying to expose a pattern that too many Zambians have chosen to ignore? Let's examine the evidence and the broader implications. Political context. Zambia's 2026 elections are less than a year away. The political temperature is rising. President Hichilema's UPND government has faced mounting criticism over load shedding, economic challenges, and allegations of authoritarian tendencies, including the controversial Bill 10 constitutional amendment process that even the Catholic Church has condemned as illegitimate. The Copperbelt province, where both Kapalala and Chiwempala markets are located, has historically been a PF stronghold. In the 2021 elections, while the UPND won nationally, they struggled in this region. Ndola's Kabushi constituency, home to Kapalala Market, was considered a PF bedroom, a reliable base of support for the opposition. Dr. Sishuwa's allegation, therefore, suggests a potential voter suppression strategy. Impoverish opposition strongholds through orchestrated fires, then arrive with government relief, creating dependence and potentially shifting political loyalty. The gassing precedent. The 2020 gassing crisis provides a crucial historical parallel. During that period, accusations flew in both directions. Opposition leader Hakainde Hichilema accused President Edgar Lungu's PF government of orchestrating the gassing to create chaos and justify arresting political opponents. The PF accused opposition elements of staging the gassing to discredit the government. Some media reports even claimed that intelligence sources had identified specific individuals within government, including then Home Affairs Minister Kampiango, as being behind the operation. What we know for certain is that over 50 people died, most from mob justice rather than the gassing itself. Hundreds were hospitalized. Schools were closed. The military
Patrolled the streets.
And in the end, despite dozens of arrests and government promises, no one was ever convicted.
The investigation question.
Here's what troubles many analysts. If the current UPND government genuinely wants to distance itself from any suspicion of wrongdoing, why hasn't it aggressively investigated and prosecuted those responsible for the 2020 gassing? President Hichilema promised accountability. He accused the PF of being behind the gassing. Yet 3 years into his presidency, the cases remain cold. Similarly, with these market fires, the pattern of response is disturbingly consistent. Express sympathy, promise investigations, offer relief, but never quite establish causation or bring perpetrators to justice. Institutional concerns. The Catholic bishops of Zambia have weighed in on broader governance issues. Bishop George Lungu stated, "The Zambian people deserve to know who was behind the gassing of people's houses using unknown chemicals that characterized the country early this year. People need to know what the cause of the monster that led to the killing of innocent citizens over gassing was." That was in June 2020. The question remains unanswered in 2025. More recently, Archbishop Alec Banda expressed deep concern and unequivocal opposition to the government's continued pursuit of Bill 10, stating that this process does not reflect the collective will of the Zambian people. Rather, it appears to be driven by narrow interests, with the state apparatus seemingly held captive by an individual intent on advancing personal ambitions. These ecclesiastical voices suggest a broader pattern of institutional concern about the direction of governance under the UPND. Political reactions. The opposition PF has remained relatively quiet on Dr. Sishuwa's specific allegations, though individual members have raised questions about the fires. Some PF supporters online have echoed his concerns, while UPND supporters have dismissed the claims as desperate. Political propaganda. Interestingly, during the 2022 Kapalala fire, when the UPND was already in power, UPND Deputy National Youth Chairman Trevor Mwind visited the market and made curious statements. He said, "It is sad for our mothers and many youths affected by the fire here at Kapalala Market. They started by burning a market in Kapiri, and now they have extended to Kapalala. It is very unfortunate that some people have gone back to the old tactics of the PF of burning markets and disturbing the people. So even UPND officials, when convenient, have suggested that market fires might be politically motivated. They just blame the opposition rather than looking within their own ranks." The fire safety question. Not everyone accepts a political conspiracy explanation. Some analysts point to systemic issues, inadequate fire safety regulations, poor enforcement by local authorities, wooden makeshift structures in markets, lack of proper fire stations, and delayed response times. A 2021 regulatory impact assessment on fire regulations noted, "Fire safety has not been properly managed in spite of existence of regulations for prevention and control of fire outbreaks. This is evidenced by the growing cases of fire gutting markets, business buildings, and private homes." Perhaps the truth lies somewhere in between. Systemic failures that create vulnerability, potentially exploited by political actors with ulterior motives. Viewers, we've walked through a complex and troubling narrative today. Dr. Sishuwa Sishuwa's warning about more market fires targeting opposition areas under the UPND government is not just a political statement. It's a challenge to all of us to pay attention, to ask questions, and to demand accountability. Whether you believe his allegations or dismiss them as political theater, the underlying facts remain undeniable. Markets are burning. Lives are being destroyed. Patterns are emerging. And answers remain frustratingly elusive. The victims of these fires are not political pawns. They are mothers, fathers, young entrepreneurs, retirees trying to survive. They deserve more than sympathy visits and promises. They deserve truth. As we head toward the 2026 elections, these questions will only become more urgent. Will we see more markets burn? Will investigations finally produce results? Will anyone, be held accountable? Whether for the 2020 gassing or for these current fires. I want to hear from you, viewers. What do you think? Are these fires coincidental, or is there a pattern of political manipulation at play? Do you trust the government's response? Have you or someone you know been affected by these market fires? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let's have a real conversation about what's happening in our country. Share this video with others who need to see it. Subscribe to InspirAfrica Official for more investigative content that cuts through the noise and asks the hard questions. This is a story that's still unfolding. We'll be watching, we'll be reporting, and we'll keep pressing for answers. Thank you for watching, and for engaging with these difficult but necessary conversations. I'm Nakash, and I'll be back tomorrow with more content that matters to you, your community, and our nation. Until then, stay informed, stay engaged, and never stop asking questions.